All right. Good morning. Welcome to Nostr Asia, day 3. Glad to see many people here today. Fishcake here, brother of Uncle Rockstar, I guess, given the outlook. So today we'll cover a little bit about the media hosting on Nostr, the challenges, how we do it, what is going on behind the curtain, and where the future is. Let's go. Okay, today's agenda is fairly simple. What is Nostr.Build? Open source. What do we use to host our media? How do we do it? Where is your media stored? Is it decentralized? Why and why not? And how do we protect you and your media? And where are we heading? And in the end, hopefully, I'll leave some time for Q&A. Okay. So, what is Nostr.Build? I guess most of you, or many of you, actually already experienced it. It's default media uploader for Damus, as well as many other clients. Probably not default, but if you choose to, you can make it default. We basically have two main tiers. One is free tier. Basically, you don't have to pay anything. You upload your media, we serve it, people see it. It's fairly simple. We don't have ads, we strip your metadata, and we try to compress your media and serve it as fast as possible. And then we have another tier where we basically have multiple levels of accounts, where you can purchase a subscription, have your own account page that comes with different perks and different storage sizes. Nothing fancy yet. I mean, we're still working. We're still very young. There is a lot to do. But otherwise, it's fairly usable. You can organize your media. You can delete things. You can upload things again. And if you delete something, we'll serve a cute picture to show that image was deleted. So it doesn't look, you don't have a stream or a feed of non-existent images. All right. So Nostr.Build is open source. We've open sourced about 2-3 months ago, if I remember correctly. You can find us on GitHub. If you're still having a hard time finding it, reach out to me and I'll share the link again. Otherwise, it's all there. The bulk of the software, what we do, you can examine the code. It's mainly written in PHP. Don't ask me why. Nostr.Build, the original creator, did it in PHP. I don't like PHP, but, well, I didn't have time to rewrite it yet. So eventually I'll rewrite it into TypeScript. So we're already using TypeScript, JavaScript, Python, and many other things to glue things together. It's very permissive license. It's MIT license. You can fork it, do whatever you want with it. Also, clearly, contributions are welcome. We don't have that many yet. I think we only had 2 contributions so far. Otherwise, it's out there. You can fork it, write your own code, write your own feature, submit it to us. We'll review, work with you, and make it happen. What we use. All right, so Nostr.Build is not really a piece of software or an application, so to speak. It's more of a platform. And the reason is to make sure that your media is delivered on time, fast, and in the right format to the clients that are requesting it. It goes through many steps underneath. So we basically use AWS and Ubuntu server Nginx for the web server. That's the main part that actually accepts your upload. And then everything is redundant and load balanced, so we don't have a single point of failure. Even your images are stored in 2 places. So the main storage is S3. It's a backup, so to speak, long storage. And then we also use Cloudflare for hot storage and actually final delivery. And we did try different CDN providers. So the main reason that Cloudflare was chosen is first, cost. We need to make it cost effective. Second, it's not as blocked as many other CDN providers. So initially when we went with the Bunny.net CDN, I found out that it actually was blocked in many countries that do need the freedom of speech, do need to see the images or media that is being shared. Like, I think Iran was one of them, Syria blocked Bunny CDN, so Cloudflare actually, surprisingly, is not blocked. and that was the choice. Software, sorry, with BTC Pay Server for payment processing, it's Lightning or Bitcoin itself. AWS SDK, CDK, Composer, Node.js, all of the ensemble of things. We clearly use a lot of open source software and applications libraries. One of them, like for preview and media, we use lightgallery.js. That's pretty good, nifty, and they're free for open source. Variety of image compression utilities behind the curtain for every format, so PNGs, JPEGs, GIFs, FFmpeg for GIFs and movies, and many other things within the open source libraries and whatnot. I don't want to list them all, so if you're very curious, please go to the GitHub and see. All right, how's it done? So whenever you upload an image, we basically resize, compress, optimize each uploaded image in GIF. We try to maintain the integrity of image as much as possible, so we don't resize too much. The image is still kept at a very high resolution, arguably probably too much for the mobile phones, so we'll still need to improve there. We also try to convert images into the more efficient formats. So normally people would upload, I don't know, in PNG sometimes. If you don't have transparency, JPEG is much better for that. It will maintain same integrity for the image. And on the fly, within the cache, images also can be served as WebP or AVIF. AVIF, I don't even know how to pronounce it. So we strip all the metadata from the images. We only keep the metadata that basically tells the client what color scheme or gamma to use. So the images maintain true colors. For the video, so far we haven't implemented it yet, but the full transcoding. But for now, any supported formats, like any supported codecs in format other than MP4, are repackaged into MP4 on the fly before you get response back. It's very quick, it's efficient, and no problems. And then we also support NIP98 and NIP96. For those who don't know what the hell that is, NIP98 is basically allows you to authenticate against web services with your npub and sec. And then NIP96 is the new interoperability NIP that basically allows for image or storage or file hosting platform to be more compatible with the rest. What that means basically that you can just literally put the https:// whatever your image host is, it will automatically be integrated in your client. And in the future, so right now we're probably about 80 to 90% done with the asynchronous transcoding of your video uploads. The next stage probably will be multi-rate HTLS streaming. What that means is basically like on YouTube, when you go to YouTube, if you're on a mobile phone, you served lower resolution, higher compressed video. If you're on a desktop, you served much higher resolution and less compressed video, and clearly more. All right. It's a very simple diagram of the architecture. I don't want to go into too many details. Basically, it's split into two parts: the delivery of media and ingestion of media. So when we ingest, you go to the load balancer, you go to one of the servers behind that, and it does all the magic processing, recompression, stripping, and stores it to S3 and the hot storage. Yeah, the main question is, why not decentralized, or why this current approach? So clearly there are plenty of technologies to decentralize the media. I'm pretty sure many people familiar with things like torrents, or I don't know, storage maybe, Filecoin, or even relays. I think NIP98 was, no, not NIP98, 96? No, I don't remember which one of them. But There are proposals about storing media on the relays themselves. So one of the main reasons is basically speed. Whenever you upload an image and you post it and user tries to fetch it, you clearly want it to display as quickly as possible. Nobody gonna wait 5 seconds, 10 seconds. That's basically one of the main reasons why it is the way it is right now. We are working with other media providers like Nostr.Me, for example, to make sure that we have compatibility layer and maybe in the future mirroring of some of the media. And then lastly, within this slide, clearly do not use media storage for any illegal content, confidential materials, or media that you plan to encrypt or should be encrypted. And yeah, if you want to have full control of the media, once you post it on the internet, it's really hard to get it out of it. So please be mindful of what you upload. We clearly will try to help you to delete anything that you shouldn't be or you couldn't or didn't want to upload and just did it by mistake, but there are no guarantees. All right. So with any media hosting, there are challenges. CSAM has been one of them. So we right now using the Cloudflare CSAM detection service. It's provided for free, so it doesn't cost anything to us. They basically scan the cache. They detect any materials, inappropriate materials like CSAM. They flag it. They block it. We delete it. That's basically the simple approach to that. And as you can see, yeah, it's a big problem. There are many instances of that, not within the Nostr.Build, but on the internet. So we're very mindful of that, and it's very important for us to maintain that mission. Roadmap feedback. So we're working on more account integrations with different services and applications. I think right now we cover majority of the Nostr clients, be it web or native. Video transcoding, to make sure that whenever you upload video, it's done nicely, delivered nicely, and everybody can see it on their connection. Sorry. Then separate experiences using Nostr.Build content. So within Nostr.Build itself, we already have for account holders like view all and galleries of the free uploaded images. We can expand that. We want to expand that. Make sure that it's more seamless and it's easier for people to see, comment, zap, whatnot. And then any new nips, of course. Meme maker, yeah, and new nips, whatever comes out. And that's it. Thank you. Questions?
Right over here.
Hold on.
Hi. My question is basically a theme, or I wonder, it strikes me as it's a very nice project, so thank you for making it for starters.
Thank you.
But it's kind of centralized. You touched a bit on, there are these other decentralized things that are disadvantageous, but I wonder, have you considered like IPFS or other things, or at least do you see the current state as just where you are now and you want to get to more decentralized, or is it unworkable, or maybe you have some thoughts on
Yes.
that direction?
So it is workable, it is doable. I don't believe that technologies like IPFS are the right answer to that yet. They are not responsive enough. There are laws of physics that need to be overcome. Even right now, any clients that say, or whoever provides the decentralized storage, they still have a proxy in front of it. So basically, your image might be stored, or your media might be stored somewhere on multiple places. And then they will cache it, and they'll centrally serve it through whatever their CDN is. So one of the solutions could be that we'll have an interoperability protocol between hosts. Anybody can spin up their, if we have a right NIP, basically speaking, that allows for the media hosts to cooperate and exchange media, mirror it in a more efficient way than right now, then definitely that's the direction to go. So it's not forgotten, we're thinking about it, we're talking about it, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, if it doesn't take too much time, what do you think about the idea of incentivizing relays themselves to host content, kind of like what Hornet have talked about?
I have talked about it a little bit. So the problem with relays, it's a JSON, right? So it's JSON-based protocol. It's meant for text. It's not for binaries. You can encode your binaries into base 64. You have about 20 to 30% overhead on top of that. So let's say you have one image. It's 100 kilobyte and becomes 130 kilobyte. Then it fetched through, I don't know, 10 relays. You're already talking about 1.3 megabyte. And it just becomes burden on relay themselves. It's burden on the client because you have mobile phones, for example, right? You pay for probably per gigabyte of downloaded or uploaded media. And yeah, basically it's efficiency.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I have two questions. One, how do you handle illegal content like CSAM, so
Yep.
child pornography or Nazi content in parts of Europe? And then the second part is, what are your thoughts about paid content and being a paid content server for users to be able to unlock that?
All right, so the first one, whenever the content is flagged, so first of all, every free upload that goes into the Nostr.Build servers is not shared in the gallery until it is reviewed by a human being right now. So there is a bottleneck. We'll clearly need to adopt some AI technologies and whatnot to try to filter it out before that. Any illegal content like child pornography, for example, or Nazi content or whatever illegal things are within what jurisdictions. For CSAM, it's removed as soon as it's flagged. And if, for example, we are forced by a legal entity to remove certain content because, like Nazi propaganda or whatever, in specific jurisdictions, we could technically speaking block it, so it's not even delivered in that jurisdiction, but we don't necessarily need to remove it. So, I mean, servers are hosted right now in the United States, so we are bound by the laws of the United States to that matter. Everything else, I'm pretty sure we can block it just for that specific country. Otherwise, it's free to share. And the second question was about, sorry.
The second question was, there's been lots of talk about paid content,
yes.
and the media server that provided it obviously is a clear way to gate that and charge for it.
We can do it today. The problem is clients. So NIP98 is integrated. We could technically speaking have it even now. So it's not hard. The problem is the clients. So, and as long as the clients can implement the feature where they will basically NIP98 authenticate every request, we could technically speaking gate any content based probably on zaps. For example, if NIP57 note is published to the relay and fetched, or by any other means. So that is possible.
I'm part of the media production here, but I do have a question about encryption on media assets. I haven't really heard forensic watermarking technology being talked about being used to identify assets that are posted on Nostr. Is there any work being done on that? So if I want to authenticate that media that I've published is actually from me and not just authenticated or attached to my actual post?
So there is NIP94, I believe, that together with the node, it also posts the hash of the original or returned media. So whenever you post something, for example, when we use the yet to be merged NIP96, you are returned the hash of the original that you uploaded and also the SHA-256 hash of the transformed media. And that is embedded within the node. And if your client supports that, they can authenticate that the media is the original that was uploaded.
But if that media goes to another, like is copied or reused, that hash may not, it's not embedded in the actual visual image itself, right?
No, it's not.
Okay. Because I'm just concerned about deep fakes as we start to see deep fakes enter the scene, that if, someone's identity is shown in something, that it could be, just verified to that identity.
Within the media, well, there are probably possibilities to embed things within the metadata, but it's not going to be possible to prevent somebody from changing it later on. So that's the hard part. So as long as your node, the original node that you posted on Nostr, and the same link to the same media, we can verify that. Anything outside of that, it becomes hard. Did that answer your question? Sort of, okay. We can talk later after the...
Hey, Fishcake. This is Nostr.Build, so I just wanted to reiterate, us having FOSS and supporting, like if you have questions about decentralization, if you're worried about content, like we strongly advocate and support you actually building your own image uploader. If you're technical at all, they're actually pretty simple. If you want just a basic image uploader and you want to host your own content. And then on top of that, right, you can go back to our GitHub and use that if you want to make your own image uploader. But we're totally fine, right? If you have any kind of issues, worried about content, whatever, I mean, we're strong supporters of creating your own image uploader and using your own servers.
Right. That's it then. Right, thank you very much.